Hello everyone and welcome to my second tier list actually. I was planning to do this every week and I'm going to and we just had a big patch. So a lot of things actually have changed. We got the dragons were improved, knights get better, mages got worse. So I think it's going to be completely different and I think it could be very interesting to see how the tier list looks right now. So again, we have just SS tier, which are basically units you would always pick. They fit in any composition, even if they don't have like synergies, you would still put them because they're that good. A units are basically units who are just really good if you have a synergy for it, and sometimes you could use that without synergy, but mainly you would want them with synergy, but they would be like your main carriers. Units are just like average, um, like the most average unit. C would be like it could be useful if you have a specific composition for it, but it will not really carry you. And then D units are just really like bad units. Even with certain synergies, they would be the units that like hold you back and that you would want to change by other units of that tribe. So let's start. First of all, we have Abby, Abaddon. I do actually like Abby a lot. Plus, the Knight synergy got buffed, so he is definitely A tier. I'm not putting him in S tier because I would never pick Abby if it would not be for either the Heartless synergy or the Knight synergy. But if you go for one of those synergies, then Abby will definitely be one of your main carries. Actually, the same thing for Alchemist. Um, he's just a really good carrier if you can get his synergies, but you would not really use him outside of your synergies, even though he is a really good unit. Then we have Anti-Mage. I used to be quite a fan of Anti-Mage, but I'm not anymore. I don't think Anti-Mage is that good. If you, of course, want to go Demon Hunter Demon Synergy, you would play it. That's why it's not D tier. Also, if you go for an elusive strategy, you might use it, but it would never like carry you. It's not that good that it will carry you. Arc Warden, I feel like is kind of the same. You use it for its synergies, but it will never be like a good unit inside of those synergies. Then we have Axe. Axe is, I think, actually a pretty clean B tier. Um, if you go Warriors, you always use it. If you go Brawny, you always use it. And it won't carry you, but it also won't be a liability. Like it's just something that you want in your team. It's fine. Bat Ride is not that good. If you go Trolls, you would actually presumably not use it, so that's why I put it in C tier. And in Night, you actually don't want to use it either, so I might even actually put it in D tier because I think it's actually quite bad. Beastmaster is actually really good, so I'm thinking he's like on the verge of A or B tier, but I think I might even put it in A tier because I do think he's definitely better than X. So yeah, Beastmaster is kind of good. Goblin Assassin, he's definitely B tier. He's good. He won't carry you if you go for like assassins or something, but he also won't be like bursting. So he's like pretty okay. I put him in B tier. Then we have Bloodseeker's definitely a C tier. You could use him in assassin comms and stuff, but he's not great actually. So we put him in C. Chaos Knight, definition of a B tier. Just really solid. I do hope he in a Knight synergy because he got so much better. It's actually a good unit, but I would always prefer Abby. I think above CK. This wait, what's his name again? I forgot. Clockwork is actually I don't really like Clockwork. Plus, I'm not too big of a fan of the synergies. The synergies are not that good, but it's fine. Like you could use not D tier, but it's not great. Crystal Maiden obviously is. I'll put it in A because you, if it's in mages, Crystal Maiden is definitely S tier. Like it's phenomenal. But you would never, ever pick Crystal Maiden if you're not going for a. You would never use it if you're not going for a mage composition. So that's why it can never be S tier, and I use it as an A tier. Then we have Disruptor. I'm actually thinking about putting Disruptor into S tier because it's. No, I won't. I think Disruptor is a really good unit, but I would only pick it if I go for shamans, but mainly in a brownie. I think you could pick it sometimes outside of it, but I'm not sure. Dragonite got buffed, and he actually became definitely A tier. You would never pick him outside of dragons. But dragons got buffed a lot, and he got buffed, so he's actually a really good unit now. Same for Doom. I would say Doom is also A tier. Very good unit in warriors and demons, but you would not use him, I think, outside of that. Then we got Drow. Drow, I think, I always used to think Drow was insane. I think it's a little bit less insane now that I think about it, but yeah, I'll still put it in A. I'll put it in A tier. Medusa is our first S tier. Medusa is phenomenal if you go hunters or if you go skilled, but also in any other composition, Medusa is just phenomenal AoE, crowd control, just really, really, really good. Enchantress sucks balls. I'm actually thinking about putting it in D tier. Yeah, you don't want to play Enchantress. Even if you go Druids, you would rather go just 2 Druids. And the Savage Bone is just not worth it. It's not a good unit. Enigma is S tier. Basically, almost all 5 cost units are S tier. Of course, if you go Warlock, it's phenomenal. But even if you just like a spot that you cannot fill, you would just want to put Enigma in there. Then I have Furion, and actually I think Furion is not a good unit. But if you go elusive, it's actually not that bad. Like, you don't want to run it in a normal druid comp, but if you go elusive, you would want to combine it with the Dream Protector, and it's actually not that bad. So that is the reason why I don't put it in D tier, because in an elusive comp, it can actually be useful, while Enchantress is just always bad. So Furion is C tier. Gyro, S tier, as I said, all 5-star units. Juggernaut is actually kind of a good unit, but I'm not going to put it in A tier, because I don't think it's quite good enough, but I actually think Jug is quite fun. Kunkka, definitely S tier. You can put it in any composition and it will work for you. Cottle it did get nerfed, so it's a bit less good right now, so that's why I put it in B tier. It used to be 8, it was not S tier because you would never pick Cottle outside of mages. But it was an A tier, but it got nerfed now, and I do feel like it did get nerfed quite a bit. It's still a good unit, like you would always play in a major, it's still good, but it's a B tier right now. Lone Druid is actually an A tier. If you go Druids, you would always pick Lone Druid. Just really good. It's close to S tier actually, because you would almost use it even though um, you don't have Druids. But it's definitely A tier. Lich, I think Lich is the worst. And now that Mages got nerfed, I'm actually almost thinking about putting it in B, because I'm actually not too big of a fan of Lich. But yeah, I'll put it in A tier, but I don't think it's nearly as good as the other 5-star units. Then we got Lina. I'm actually not too big of a fan of Lina, and Naga Mages got nerfed, so I'm actually just gonna put it in C. Like, it's not trash, but she's not good at all. Luna is definition of a B tier. I'm actually a big fan of Luna. Knights got buffed, so might put it higher, but I would never ever pick her outside of Knights. So I'll put it as a B tier. Lycan is actually a really good unit. I'm thinking about Lycan is A tier because he's a lot better than X. Lycan is actually has really nice tribes and synergy, so definitely A tier. Mirana, definition of a B tier. Elusive could be really good. The Hunter is fine. Morphling is actually a C tier. It's really good in the beginning of the game, but like when you go on in the late game, it's not that good of a unit anymore. Necro. I used to like Necro a lot, but I like Necro less and less, to be fair. So I'm thinking about putting it in B tier. I don't think it's actually that good. Ogre is, I think, C tier. It's not bad, but like it's not that good of a unit. Omni Knight is actually an A tier. I think Omni Knight is actually really, really, really good. Now that Knights got buffed, he actually got even better, so Omni Knight is definitely A tier. Phantom Assassin's definition of B tier, it's actually one of the best assassins. Like, I think the best assassin is by far Templar Assassin. Co-op is really good, but then Phantom Assassin I think is the third best assassin. It's actually really good. Puck, actually not good. I put it in C. It's not a D tier because in Dragons it's of course valuable if you can get your Dragon. Because Dragon Knight you get really late on, you could use actually early, but it's also you use it in a mage comp, you can use it in an elusive comp. It's not good, but it has 3 tribes, which actually makes it kind of interesting. Putch, I think, is a C tier. It's one of the worst warriors, I believe. So if you go warriors, and even only if you would use the Heartless combination as well, you can use Puck, but otherwise Putch. Otherwise, never play Putch. Quap is actually an A tier. Quap is just really, really good. One of the best assassins out there. User. Razor, I actually like Razor less and less, and now Razor got actually mages got nerfed, so I'm actually thinking about putting Razor in C tier because actually just mages in general are just a lot worse right now. And the thing is, they're good if you make mages, but units like mages are just really good because of the effect that mages have, which reduces magic resistance for the opponents. But the units itself are actually not good at all. Like only Kotl is good, but the other one's not. Shadow Sham is actually trash. Um, yeah, it's just bad. Shadow Fiend, I think, could be A or B. Um, it's this is tough. I think I would put it in B tier because it's not bad, but it's like it's not as good as I think a lot of people believe it to be. Because in Dota Chaz it was really really good, but in Underlords it's still decent, but it's not great. Sand King is actually kind of fine. It's actually B tier as well. It's actually kind of a good assassin. Slaughter is like, I think it's one of the worst assassins as well. It does have the scale bonus, which makes it interesting, but if you can get Medusa with Tidehunter, it becomes relevant, so therefore I don't really like Slaughter. Slark is the definition of a B tier. Could be really good if it lives long, but it's not like great. So Sniper is actually really good. Hunters are good, so it's definitely A tier. Templar Assassin, the best assassin out there, really good elusive. It's not. It's I think it's really close to S tier. I think it's probably one of the closest together with Disruptor and Alchemist being S tier. Um, and also with Lone Druid, I guess. Um, but it's the problem is you would never pick it outside of elusive or assassins, while the S tiers you would. So I'm not putting in S tier. Terrorblade I think is a B tier. If you get 3-star Terrorblade, it's one of the most insane units in the game, and like it wins you everything. But if you don't get 3-star Terrorblade, it's actually not that great. Like it's not bad, but it's not that great. Plus like anti-mage is terrible, so Techie's really good unit. Tidehunter, of course. Like all of these, like you just instantly. I think you pick any 5-star unit except for Lich, because it fits in any composition. Timbersaw is close to between B and C, but I'm actually gonna put it in B. The reason why I put it in B is because its synergies are trash. You know, like both Inventor, Scrappy is just really really bad. So that's why I put it in B. Then we have Tinker. I think Tinker is kind of similar, but I do think Timbersaw is better than Tinker, so I'm gonna put it probably, yeah, probably in C tier. Then we got Tiny. Tiny is actually one of the better. Um, I think Tiny is actually one of the better warriors, but Primordial is not really that useful. I'm not too big of a fan of Primordial, so its synergy actually not that good, so I put it in B. Dream Protector is actually very viable. I didn't used to think it was, but like the more I play with it, actually the better it becomes because in Druid it's really good because you want to combine it with Lone Druid, but I also in like an elusive strat, it's just very very viable and one of the most important units. So I love it. True Warlord is B tier. I think a lot of people would have it in A tier, but I don't think Troll Warlord is nearly as good as it is in Dota Auto Chess. Plus, the Troll synergy is just not good. You can use it with a Witch Doctor, but like that's it. So I'll put it in B tier. Even though, because the problem Witch Doctor is gonna be here as well. And Troll Warlord is definitely better than Witch Doctor. Um, but I cannot put it in A tier. I think because can I? I might put it in A tier because it's not. But Troll is so not really useful. But okay, I'll put it in A and then I'll put Witch Doctor in B. But it's like one of the lower A units. Tusk I think is definitely B tier. It's a decent warrior. You would use it, but it's not like great. Beano is absolute garbage. Just trash. Like even in a Warlock synergy, pick all the Warlocks. It's garbage. In Savage, pick other Savages, it's garbage. Like, it's not good. Then Viper, I think Viper is actually, it used to be trash, but now because Dragons got a lot better, I do think we put it in S because Dragon got a lot better, and Viper itself actually got a bit better because of the effect that it gives you. Now, if you have the Dragons, But I still think it's one of the weaker. Like you use it, but it doesn't carry you at all. Puck neither. So, uh, like the reason why dragons is good, I think, is because now it's very easy to get it. You just need 2 dragons, so you get Dragonite because you need him, and then because he's just the best one, and then you pick one of the two. So that makes it very easy to get. But standalone, the units are itself are just not good. Then we have the Warlock. He's fine. Like you could use it in a Warlock comp. He's decent. Yeah. And then Wind Ranger is actually really good. I think a lot of people misjudge this unit because this unit is actually really, really good. It's definitely A tier unit. Its ult is good. It gets you real kills. The Hunter synergy, the Elusive synergy, just all of it is really good. So yeah, this is my tier list. It has changed a lot, and I probably will change every patch, but I hope you enjoy it.